Men interpret a woman's silence in about 3 different ways. One of those ways will show that he cares, but the other two show that he doesn't care. And one of the ways in which men interpret a woman's silence is when their ego slowly destroys the relationship, and the woman's silence doesn't create an urgency to solve things, but it creates relief within him. When a man's ego begins destroying a relationship, your silence does nothing but comfort him. He's finally happy that you're now leaving him alone. This is the thought process behind all of it. Finally, she's no longer complaining. She finally shut up. She's quiet. She's gone. She's no longer venting and complaining about her day. He's thinking in the back of his head, this is one less thing to manage. When a woman goes silent on a man with this much of an ego, her silence is not seen as a loss. And you'll know this is happening when he starts pulling away for no apparent reason. He starts shutting down instead of communicating. He starts creating distance from him to you. Another way that men interpret a woman's silence is when they start doing a little bit of self-reflection and they start asking the important questions because they notice that something is lacking. Communication is no longer the same, so they immediately start to questioning things. What's the problem? What's going on? Why is she suddenly cold? And in situations like these, sometimes women are at fault because when a man starts to interpret her silence with a doubt, she expects him to decode her silence. And it's unrealistic to expect a man to just know exactly what's going on when there's no communication involved. You can't skip the conversation and go straight into withdrawing from him. You have to give him some kind of information where he can start to create a resolution from it. You're quiet and he's quiet. That's not going to solve anything now. And this is the last way and only way to know whether or not a woman's silence truly matters to a man, and that's if he responds to her silence like a problem to be fixed. A woman's silence will only register to a man who sees her as someone who he wants to be with in the future, someone who he's taking serious. He's going to go back and replay the interactions. He might even go back into the conversations, scroll up, and see where the problem was because he actually gives a shit. He notices the gap that used to be filled with connection, and he does something about it because it bothers him genuinely. Not only is he afraid of upsetting his woman, but he's also afraid of losing her to the world. And that is how you know when your silence truly matters to a man or not. So if he's not doing those things right there, you have your answer. If women truly understood the power of their silence, they would not be out here crashing out, writing long paragraphs, over-explaining themselves, begging for men's attention. They would sit comfortably in their silence and allow their silence to speak on their behalf. Your absence in silence as a woman creates distance and space in a man's life. And what this does is it removes the benefits of convenience. You're no longer there being the patient listener that you were at one point or were the entire time. You're no longer there cleaning up the emotional mess that you didn't even make in the first place. What this does in turn is it creates a chamber, and a man is now forced inevitably to listen to his own echoes in that chamber because he's forced to self-reflect because no one is there responding to him anymore. He now has to fill the void, and since you're no longer filling it in anymore, and when he fills that void and he sees his own reflection and he sees the things you've been trying to tell him this entire time that he was insensitive to, and he realizes that a woman's love is not guaranteed. It will falter and it will decrease and fade away if he is not nurturing it. Which is why I think it's stupid when people say that women are the nurturers, because men should also be nurturing the women equally, but that's a different topic. A woman's absence completely destroys the idea that her love could survive on autopilot. You have to nurture her love and maintain it in order to continue to see it. You can't just plant a seed and expect it to blossom if you're not watering the seed and taking care of it, giving it the proper sunlight with proper, healthy, loving, nurturing environments. It's not going to happen. And a lot of men, unfortunately, realize this a little too late, because by the time they realize it, the woman has usually mentally and emotionally checked out. And what I know for certain is when a woman decides to finally mentally and emotionally check out, you're not getting her back, because women will do everything in their power to have us notice and see that their love is fading away. So when they finally choose to move on, it's not about them not loving us anymore. It's about them finally learning to love themselves and put themselves first. Just don't take anyone for granted, bro. That's all I'm saying, because some women are so amazing that they literally only come once in our lifetime, and when they get up and leave, they never come back. Appreciate everything. Every little thing matters. Appreciate the small things as much as you do the big things.
Once you do nothing, he will come running back to you, and let me explain. You see, silence scares a man. It scares him to thinking that you are leaving him and you're talking to another guy, you don't want to be with him, and all this other shit. But let me tell you why it scares him in more depth. See, one thing he thought you would never do, and that is leave. And because you have left at this point in time, this shifts everything. This shakes him. Because as I always say, he likes the fact that you like him, and he likes the fact that you are chasing him. And a man will never admit this, but trust me, men love when you chase them, especially the ones that don't want to be with you. And for a couple of days, this man's ego is going to get in the way, but trust me, he's wondering what you're doing, who you're with. He's not going to text you, he's not going to call you, but he is going to be looking at everything you start doing. Silence always makes a man come back.
The quieter you became, the louder his insecurity got. Because you know you didn't do anything to make him feel insecure. You just stopped doing the one thing that was keeping it quiet. This is gonna land for a lot of you because there was probably a shift in the dynamic at one point, moment where you stopped explaining yourself, you stopped seeking clarity on the things that you know were never going to be clarified, you stopped filling silences that were not yours to fill, and you got quiet. You weren't cold, you weren't totally disconnected, you were just settled in yourself and in your decision, in the complete lack of need for his validation to confirm what you already knew. But his response to your quiet was anything but. He was suddenly louder, he was more reactive, he was more desperate to get a response from you that proved you still cared what he thought. You probably wondered why your calmness made him more chaotic. Here's exactly why. Your anxiety was keeping his insecurities manageable. When you were seeking reassurance, he was the one with the answers. When you were emotionally available and reactive, he was the one in control. Your need was the thing that made him feel he had something to offer. But the moment you got quiet and the moment you stopped genuinely needing anything from him, his insecurity simply had nowhere to project. No anxious woman he could feel superior to. No emotional reaction for him to redirect. It was just him. With your calmness, he's now sitting inside his own inadequacy with nothing to cover it.
The moment you go silent, everything changes, and I'm going to show you why. Right now, your effort is telling him one thing, that you need him, that you're not going anywhere. And as long as he believes that, nothing will actually change. Right now, I need you to do something that you're probably not going to like. Go silent, no text, no checking his profile, none of that. Just silence. Because here's what happens the moment you start doing this. He starts picking up his phone, putting it down, picking it up again, and that confidence that he once had, that he thought you weren't going to leave, that confidence begins to crack. Because you're not doing what you've always done. And that unfamiliar silence that you're giving him does something that words could actually never. It makes him feel the weight of actually losing you. He will be able to ignore your presence 1,000 times versus ignore your absence. Your presence tells him that you'll always stay and come back. Your absence will tell him you're done dealing with everything he has put you through. And a man that actually thinks you will leave, he becomes a different type of man when you do. And today is a perfect time to show him that you are finally done trying to beg and plead for his existence in your life.
Once a woman goes quiet and calm, she's moved on. You no longer have access to her. You would not recognize the woman that's sitting across from you. She no longer wants to be there, and she don't want you no more. Those text messages don't hit the same. Those good morning texts look different. Those good night texts look different. You can be in the same room as a woman, and she be somewhere completely different. She's checked out. You wanted to give her 50% energy, but have 100% of her. She was showing you a side of her that people never see. This is somebody that people don't get access to. The smiles, the way that she treated you was her giving you special treatment. She only has a few words for you now. You thought she was being overly emotional. She was just telling you what she needed. She gave you the playbook to her happiness. You got to water this plant every day. You thought it'd survive on its own. She wanted to make you a part of her life. That she gave you the lead. You failed at that. She's planning her whole life without you right now. She's only going to put up with being put last for so long. The crying is done. You got like 3 more seconds. You'll never get that woman back.
You went quiet on a man. Here's what he feels from a man who's been him. First week, he feels fine, relieved even. No pressure, doing what he wants. You checking your phone every hour. He's not even thinking about you yet. The second week starts to hit him all at once. No text, no calls from you. He starts to scroll through your old text. He starts to type you something. He deletes it. I did all those things when a woman went quiet on me. And all she did was stop communication. And then that silence got so loud. But you watch his move. If he cared, you're going to get real effort, real words. If you get them random emojis, random selfies, what you doing, you've been on my mind, that's just a little test to see if you're still available. You don't respond to the test. You respond to real effort. He noticed. He always notices.
The most dangerous woman in the world is a woman that don't say nothing. A woman that is quiet. A woman that don't say nothing bad. She already plotting on you. She already got some on her mind. Yeah, she fed up, but she know what to do to you. She know your weak spot. She know what hurts you. She been around you too long. She been mad at you over 10 years, 20 years. She know what make you cry, what make you break down. And y'all men be hurting women like that? A woman that know you, everything about you, that been around you for years, and you want to cheat on her, put your hands on her? You got to go to sleep at night. You wake up, house on fire. You got to eat her food. Eat the food. You sick, you die. You better be careful. I'm just saying.
You don't understand what silence does to a man, because if you did, you wouldn't waste your time crashing out, sending paragraphs, or blowing up his phone. I'm going to explain to you what silence does to a man psychologically, so save this, send this to your friends. Probably going to have to make a part 2, so if you want a part 2, comment below. Number 1, he loses predictability and control. Your consistent emotional presence made him feel safe. But when you are the one to walk away, when you are the one to go silent, you are reflecting back to him a person that he doesn't recognize. Because what did he say to you? He said, I just can't give you what you need. He thought you were suffocating. He thought you were demanding. But all of a sudden, he's realizing, wow, she doesn't need me as much as I thought she did. 2, it creates a psychological void. Your silence creates a vacuum, and human nature hates emptiness. So he tries to fill the void by replaying memories, getting into surface level flings, rebound relationships. Men feel more for you in your absence than in your presence, because oftentimes men don't know how to articulate what they want until that woman walks out of their life and they realize, wow, that woman actually had everything that I needed. Why? Because access breeds blindness. He became blissfully unaware of just how good he had it until distance provides perspective, which will communicate all of the things your words couldn't. And 3, it triggers obsessive thinking. We don't obsess over the things in our life that feel complete. And since you are no longer the one to close the gap, since you are no longer the one to take initiative and try to find a resolution, he doesn't know how to handle it.
Let me break it down for you what silence does to a man. Number 1, it makes him feel your absence strongly. See, let me tell you, men may not always say it, but they notice quickly when your voice, your good morning text, your laughter, or even those little complaints go missing. Silence makes him realize just how much value, how much space you actually feel in his life. 2, emotional restlessness. A man that is in love with you will find your silence unsettling. It will make him replay moments in his mind, asking himself, did I hurt her? Is she slipping away? What can I do to fix this? Number 3, it awakens his mind to pursue you. Silence can stir men's natural instinct to chase. The lack of communication and attention becomes louder, and he will feel automatically drawn to close the gap. Remember, a woman's silence is never empty, and silence is a woman's superpower. I'll see you again.
Give him the gift of silence. Give him the gift of silence and he will remember you for the rest of his life. You will always be the unforgettable woman. See, so many of you are out here leaving men with monologues, pouring out your heart and your soul in these messages, sitting there scratching your head, trying to decide how you want to come across in the message, how big the message is, what kind of words to use. What are you trying to convey, baby girl? Because he already felt your desperate energy. He already knows you're desperate. You know why? Because messages and words carry energy. So he already felt your energy through the screen. So you lose. You lose. That's why, listen to me, zip it. Give him the gift of silence. Give it to him. He's going to remember you for the rest of his life. It's a great gift. Silence will make him question his own existence. Silence will make him question, did I even mean anything to her? See, you lose when you send that monologue. You lose when you reach out. You lose when you write that message, or you lose when you crash out. I know what you're thinking. While we're not perfect, we all have weak moments. Yeah, you do. But here's the thing. We have to learn, we have to grow, and we have to evolve. And baby girl, you are not evolving if you're stuck doing the same old thing, sending him the same paragraphs. You have been sending that man paragraphs from the moment he met you. The man is tired of those paragraphs. Give him the gift of silence. Deep down, he wants it. Give it to him. Give him the gift of silence. Go and do something that you've been putting off for a while. Go and stimulate your mind and leave that man alone. Stop texting. Stop voice noting. Stop sending these double-decker paragraphs. He felt your energy. It's desperate. It's screaming, I need validation. I want approval from you. My whole existence is only valid if you reply to me. Yeah, that's what he got from those messages. Baby girl, save those monologues for your job, your career, that next project that you're going to do, for your friends, for your family, for yourself. Open your journal and pour your heart out in that journal. And then close the book and go to sleep. That's how you win.
What silence does to a man, part 2. 1, it signals high self-worth. High value is sub-communicated through demonstrated actions and behaviors, not words. You demonstrate your value and the number of options that you have by what you are willing to walk away from, not how much pain you can endure. Detachment signals high self-respect. Why? Because you do what you know, not what you feel. And that emotional discipline is rare, and scarcity increases perceived value. 2, it shatters his ego. When you give your forgiveness away as if it is nothing, it will be treated as such, because it is human nature to value what we work for. What you think is building his admiration is actually building his entitlement, because he thinks, she's giving me all this grace and forgiveness and I have done absolutely nothing to earn it. And so if she's giving it to me, then I must deserve it. Your silence works as a great neutralizer, because it forces him to confront the reality that your presence was a privilege, not a birthright. And 3, it forces him to confront himself. Eventually, the women that come through the revolving door stops, and he's just left with his thoughts, scrambling, creating pathetic playlists, replaying memories of the two of you together, trying to search for the peace that only your presence could provide. And this is the craziest part. He could have other women in his bed, but you occupy his thoughts. You occupy his search bar late at night, and the silence that once brought him peace now brings him crippling anxiety.
What does silence do to a man? This is one of my top questions that you guys ask, so I'm going to answer it for you. A woman's first instinct when they get upset, when they get angry, when they get betrayed, is to go ahead and write a fucking haiku to these men in text messages, in a fucking email, in person. I don't care. Save your breath. I promise you, you sound like that Charlie Brown character. Mwah, mwah, mwah. It's going in one ear and out the other. He ain't listening. Men are logical, not emotional. Your silence is your superpower. By keeping your mouth shut, you are going to leave his mind in the unknown. Now you may be thinking, that's manipulation. No, it's not, bitch. I'll tell you when. The one who talks the most loses. every time. Your brain, everyone, male and female, is wired to come to a conclusion, to have a fulfilled ending. When you stay silent, he is going to be grasping at straws, trying to figure out what's happening, what happened, where you stand, what's going on, prompting him to, well, in layman's term, freak the fuck out. If you message him and send a huge novel, he's gonna be like, I got this girl in the bag. It doesn't really matter, she'll be back. If you want to make him sweat, if you want to make him think, if you want him to be like, what is happening? Crying, rocking back and forth in a corner, bitch, stay silent. And for those of you who are like, well, I stayed silent and he never came back, he don't like you. You guys don't understand. Men will literally be with women that they can't fucking stand for years, decades, months, weeks. They'll sleep with you. It doesn't matter. If he likes you, he'll be back and he'll have thought about his indiscretions. Silence. Be silent, 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 silent. Shh. I love you.
You don't understand what silence does to a man, but energetically and psychologically it changes the entire dynamic. Part 1, the change. When you were always there, always explaining, always the one reaching out first, he felt safe, certain, in control. Not because he didn't care, but because your presence was predictable. But the moment you stop chasing, the moment you stop over-giving, the moment you choose yourself, respect yourself over needing validation, you become unpredictable. And nothing shifts a dynamic faster than when someone no longer has access they thought would always be there. Make sense? Part 2. The space. Silence creates space, and space creates realization. When you stop filling the silence with messages, with explanations and emotions, he is left alone with his thoughts. And in that silence, he doesn't hear your words. He feels your absence. Because the energy that was once chasing is now standing still. And what stands still often starts to be noticed and valued much more than all the messages. Number 3, the real power. Silence is not a game. I want to be clear. Silence is not punishment. Silence is a woman who remembers who she is. When you stop reacting, then you change the pattern. When you stop proving, you change your position. When you stop chasing, you change your value. Silence is not about controlling someone else. Silence is about mastering yourself. And that kind of energy is magnetic. It's magnetic indeed. If you are in a season where you are choosing yourself, this is your confirmation. This video that you watch right now, it's your confirmation. And if you want to learn how to emotionally detach in a healthy way, how to keep your heart open but your dignity intact, and how to stop chasing and start attracting, then DM me the word detach and I will send you my free guide.
If she becomes calmer, man, trust me, it's over. No more efforts, no more excuses, nothing can make her change her mind. Her silence means she's done trying to be heard. Remember that.
Let me tell you what your silence does to the narcissist. There is a reason why whenever you hear narcissist or narcissism, you hear no contact. There is a powerful reason for that. No contact is a powerful tool against the narcissist. Your silence is a powerful weapon against the narcissist. A lot of you hear about narcissism and you hear no contact and you don't really know what that means. Let me break it down for you and tell you how much more powerful you are than that narcissist, and also tell you how much more powerful you can be if you use the tool of silence and no contact. See, the narcissist functions in dysfunction. I've said that here over and over. The narcissist functions in chaos. The narcissist is not a normal person. They're not like you and I. So when you fight the narcissist, when you choose to argue with them, when you choose to engage with them, you're not just engaging with a demon who has sold his soul to the devil. You're also dealing with a lot of different spirits. And one of those are the spirit of Jezebel. You are dealing with a demonic entity. You are dealing with a lot of demons in one vessel. You cannot fight this person in regular human form and win. Your silence and your cry to God in silence is your tool. That is your most powerful tool. So if you have written that long paragraph to send to that person, delete it. The long email, delete it. When you go tit for tat with the narcissist, remember I told you guys that narcissists, they are like children. They stop developing at a very, very young age in their life when they became narcissistic. That is when they sold their souls to the devil. And that is why a lot of times when you interact with a narcissist, it's almost like you're talking to a child. They have no ability to reason. They are very impulsive. They are very tit for tat. They're very childish. They throw temper tantrums. They want things to go their way. They're entitled. Just anything that an innocent child, and I hate that I have to compare a child with these demons, but that's kind of what you're dealing with. Especially for the child, only in the sense that they're children. They don't know what they're doing. Versus the narcissist, they act like children, but they know exactly what they're doing. These are demons. These people sold themselves and their souls to the devil a long, long time ago. Narcissist wants to be seen, heard, and perceived as very, very important. They want to be seen as the most important person in your life. The narcissist used to tell me that he is my God on earth. They literally will compare themselves to God. They will get jealous if you start to pay attention to God and pray to God. They will get jealous for that. They are jealous of God. That's how deep and dark these people are. So if you think you're fighting a person, if you think you're fighting a human, you already lost that fight. You lost that fight. There is no fight against the narcissist in normal human flesh that you're going to win because you're not dealing with a human. So there is power in your silence. There is power in no contact. These people are confabulators. They are fabricators. They are pathological liars. So they're going to lie on your name. They're going to create stories. They're going to fabricate horrible, horrible stories. They're going to rewrite history. Everything that happened, they're going to take it and flip it upside down. Some of the stories you're going to hear, you're going to be so shocked. You're going to be so mad. You're going to be so angry. You want to call them. You want to email them. You want to do this. You want to defend yourself. You want to do all of this. That is a lost battle for you. The only way to win at this game with the narcissist is to go completely mute. Go completely no contact. Go completely silent. Doesn't matter who calls you and says the narcissist says this. Block them. Those people are not your friends. Doesn't matter what rumors they spread about you on the internet. Stay quiet. You know what I did? I created, again, a lot of us went through this so that we can be in the position to share our stories with you all so you don't have to go through it. So I hope and pray that I'm not sitting in my car and making these videos that are falling on deaf ears. I hope and pray that you're listening to these things and taking pointers. Because the narcissist is a cruel person. When you deal with these people and you don't have the proper weapons and you know, just guidance to deal with them, you suffer. You will suffer. Dealing with a narcissist is a life-changing experience. Dealing with these people literally causes brain damage for their victim, especially depending on how long you were exposed to them. So this is not a joke. So what I did was, when I left the narcissist, I was broken. I didn't know anything about narcissism. I didn't know what I was dealing with at that time. God sent special people in my life. Special people in my life that literally held my hands to walk me through this. And that is one of the reasons I'm so passionate about basically giving back when it comes to this situation. Because it took someone who held my hands, two people who really held my hands and told me everything I needed to know about narcissism, and told me how I needed to act, things I needed to do, and I listened to them. And that's how I was able to get out. That's how I was able to survive. That's how I was able to go no contact. That's how I was able to ignore everything. I always tell you guys, there are multiple videos all over the internet of me and this person arguing, fighting, with no contact whatsoever. Reactive abuse. These are videos they filmed. These are recordings they filmed while we were together, when I didn't know that they were going to use it against me. So I didn't use no contact. I didn't use silence. I fought back. And that came back to bite me later. These videos have been posted for the last 2.5 years all over social media, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, and here on TikTok. I'm sure a lot of you have seen them. What you don't see in those videos is what caused the arguments. What you don't see in those videos is their reaction or action. What you see is my reaction. What you see is what the narcissist perfectly orchestrated to prove a point. So I'm telling you, as a victim of that, your silence is very, very powerful. Once I went no contact, once I started to use the powerful tool of silence, the narcissist completely spiraled out of control. They lost their minds. You could see them break down on the same internet that they try to destroy me on. You could see them lose it. They became obsessed. They became very, very obsessed and angry. Why? I went silent. Nothing they did bothered me anymore. Nothing they said bothered me. I continued to grow. I continued to work on myself. I continued to have peace. I continued to create new relationships with people. I continued to go back to my old relationships, the healthy ones, of course. And that is what the narcissist hates more than anything. Your silence is powerful. Your silence tells the narcissist that they are irrelevant. And the narcissist hates being irrelevant. They hate not having attention. They hate being ignored. But when you go silent, when you go no contact, you're not even doing it for them. You're doing it for yourself. But it hurts them. Use your power of no contact. Use your power of silence. This is the only way you can fight back. Cry unto God. If you're feeling down, if the rumors are hurting you, if the lies are hurting you, cry to God in silence. Don't fight this person back. Delete the paragraph, delete the email, delete the post, delete the video, delete all of that. Go completely silent and see what happens. Follow for more.